In Screwed News, we've told you before about the for-profit college industry and how it gladly takes federal aid money while continuing to charge students outrageous costs for obtaining an education. And now it appears that traditional nonprofit colleges are doing the exact same thing. According to a new report released last week by the New America Foundation, hundreds of colleges and universities across America are charging obscene prices to poor students while they're giving huge discounts and large financial packages to students from wealthier backgrounds in order to attract them to campus. Like for-profit institutions, these colleges and universities are basically playing a shell game, using federal aid grants to cover the costs of poor students while using their own financial resources to give aid to wealthier undergrads. So is this give to the rich, take from the poor mentality and unfortunate reality in America's higher education system today? And how do we ensure that all Americans receive a quality education without graduating with mountains of debt? Joining me now is Alex Palombo, Director of Online Strategies at Progressive Strategies, L.L.C. Alex, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Are you surprised by the findings of this study?
I'm not really surprised. I had more of a Catholic mom, kind of reaction where I'm not surprised, I'm disappointed. College is getting really, really expensive with more and more for-profit, colleges providing education for higher and higher costs. And for years we've been talking about trying to make education more accessible and more affordable to more people, but it doesn't seem to be going in that direction with this kind of trend.
Yeah. 30 years ago, when kids pretty much did not graduate from college with any debt at all unless they were in a graduate program of some kind. Before, in fact, the year that Reagan took office, 1980, about 80% of all tuition was paid for by state, local, federal governments or colleges themselves, and 20% roughly was paid for by students.
Yeah.
Now here we are 32 years of Reaganomics later, and those numbers have reversed themselves.
Yeah.
And do you think that that's a big piece of this?
I think that's a part of it. I mean, there's more and more of an expectation of people to go to college. We've been taught our whole lives, you go to college, you get a good job afterwards with fair pay, you invest, you put away money for the rest of your life, you raise a family. And with the way things are going now, college costs have gone up off the charts, and you can't afford to just pay for it yourself, and the government doesn't seem to be helping as much as it used to, like you were saying. So students are forced to either, ask their parents for help, work more jobs, take out loans, some combination of the three, and they're graduating with thousands and thousands of dollars of debt more than they thought they would. And, they're going to school for these jobs, but they're entering a job market with stagnant wages, and they're having trouble paying those loans back. Yeah. So, once you have that good job, you've been told your whole life that college will get you, you're entering a workforce where you're not making what you thought you would, and it takes years more to pay it back than you thought, and you can't put away money for retirement or put away money for a house or move out of your parents' house even. You're having trouble.
It's it's a generational disaster, it seems to me. Yeah. Why would colleges be doing more merit-based rather than needs-based, basically scholarship programs, when the consequence of that is a greater stratification of our economy, more of the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer? Why wouldn't they feel some responsibility to be addressing that issue?
It seems like the endowments for colleges, the donations from alumni, the money that colleges have to give out for students for aid is starting to go down a little bit in the last couple of years. The economy has been tough. And I guess for-profit colleges are thinking strategically, we can give 4 middle-class students $5,000 to take the edge off of the tuition so that they'd be more inclined to pay the rest of it. Or we can give $20,000 to one student who wouldn't be able to pay the tuition either way. So, to give smaller scholarships to more people based on merit rather than one person based on aid or, need-based scholarship, it makes them more money right now. Students are not just being seen as students, they're seen as a profit machine. Yeah. And, if they know that if $5,000 can take a little bit off of this tuition, just enough to have them come to that school, enhance their academic standing, make them look more marketable, and then pay the rest of the tuition, that's more of a worthy investment to them rather than giving one worthy student who needs more money to go there in the first place all of the
Well, that is two things. Number one, it's a justification for us saying colleges can't be for-profit anymore. The IRS or something, get involved. And college typically used to be all not-for-profit. The for-profit colleges were the ones everybody laughed at. Oh, those are the diploma mills. And two, it raises the question, why is it that the not-for-profit colleges and state universities are starting to do the same thing?
It's starting a dangerous, dangerous precedent. Even if a college is not for-profit, they're seeing this happening, and they know, okay, so this student, if we give just enough, they can afford to go here. They get good grades, they can make us look better for future students, and we can keep doing this. And if one college sets the standard, I feel like others will follow just to stay competitive.
Huh. So it's like a contagious
It's
meme,
a nasty, nasty cycle.
Yeah, it is. Meanwhile, and back to the conversation we were having a second ago about student debt, Elizabeth Warren has come out and said, why is it that we're loaning money to the banksters at less than 1%, and we're loaning money to students at 3%, and in July it's going to go to 6%, and plus a little change.
It's like 6.8, I think?
Yeah, it's over 6, and whatever it is. And she's like, why don't we, we can keep on loaning to the banksters, I suppose, but why don't we at least start loaning to the students at the same rate that we're loaning to the banksters? 250,000 people have signed this MoveOn.org petition. Do you see this going anywhere?
I certainly hope so. I think it's ridiculous to be giving so much money to banks who, they kind of have a track record for not doing well with our investments in them lately.
Yes.
And students, they're churning out the ideas of tomorrow. So to see our country investing in banks rather than in our students, I find kind of disgusting. If we did invest more in students, we would have more engineers, all the people that we're looking for in the STEM fields, more writers, more doctors, more everything that we've been needing for the last couple of years. And, they would grow the middle class by investing in our students. And I feel like a stronger middle class would ensure a better economy overall. Yeah. But right now we're giving the money to the top of the country, and it's not really trickling down. Yeah. And we're leaving students in the lurch paying insane amounts of debt while CEOs are making bank.